Seiji Oshenza, and this is Somatic Secrets on Awake TV Network. Just give me a moment here. I'm going to just do this small little adjustment on my screen. All right. So we are here. Okay, so we're out here in Victoria, or near Victoria, on Vancouver Island. It's a beautiful sunny day out in the trees. I am very lucky to have this as my backyard, and it's sunny enough to finally do the show outside. Today we have a new kind of thing happening on the show. Today you're going to experience the magic of a hands-on somatic session. And this is actually going to be the first hands-on somatic session since Corona ever, so it's going to be kind of an interesting thing you're going to see today. I'm going to have somebody come onto the camera with me in a moment here. But first, I'm just going to briefly explain kind of what you can expect from this video. I'm going to be presenting to you the very specific kind of work that I can do using somatic techniques, and what we're going to do is basically assisted pandiculation. So if you've been watching the show for the last few episodes, you've heard me talk about this really weird word called pandiculation. Pandiculation is similar to a yawn. It's a somatic release. It is one of the most effective ways of retraining the brain how to lengthen muscles. And an important thing to note about pandiculation, the focus of it is release to length. So we're not doing any stretching techniques, anything to pull the muscles. We are elongating muscles by releasing the tension. For a pandiculation to work, all you need to do is contract a muscle and know that you're contracting. So I'm going to be contracting my bicep here. And then, as you know, when you contract your bicep, you're shortening that muscle. Now I'm going to slowly release it. And by releasing it slowly, allow my brain to really control that lengthening action. And now, as I've released this muscle, as I've pandiculated it, I have reduced the level of tonicity in the muscle. I've retrained the brain into knowing where the new resting length is, and I might also be releasing some of that tension. If there's pain, the pain can go away, and there'll be more flexibility, control, and strength. The difference now to an assisted pandiculation is that, say, I'm going to be doing this movement alone, but if I have somebody here that can actually give me some pressure, you know, in another case, you can use a weighted object to put more weight onto that muscle, and your brain will be more aware of that contraction. In an assisted pandiculation, you don't need a rock or heavy object. You need another person to do that with you. And the beautiful thing about it, the person that is doing the somatics with you can feel how much tension you're holding in that muscle, and then together we can release it by maintaining a constant level of pressure on that muscle. And so I'd be pushing on the arm that would make the level of strength I need to use to make that contraction go up. By doing that, my brain is paying more attention to the contraction. And then as we release, I maintain that same load of contraction or pressure on that muscle, so that the highlighting of the brain stays constant with the release of the muscle until we've completely released that muscle to its full length. And if we do that systematically with a person's whole body, we can dramatically reduce the tension, dramatically reduce pain or discomfort in the body. And we really get into the fine nitty-gritty just habits around how we're holding the bodies. And so at this point, I'm going to invite my guest to come onto the show. Lazar, would you please come over here? You can stand right here. And it's my friend Lazar. Want to say hi?
How's it? How's it going?
So Lazar has been gracious enough to join me on the show today, and in a minute we're going to have him lay down on the massage table, and he's really in for a treat because everything we're doing here is relaxing. It feels good, and I judge he's a really astute, very self-aware person. So it'll probably be really, really wonderful for him. For our viewers out there, I want you to just pay attention and watch what we're doing because this type of work isn't very common. It's not very well known. And I'd like to just people see and experience what we can do about lower back pain, what we can do about neck and shoulder tension just by doing somatic movements together with a somatic educator. Now, when the pandemic is at some point over or this whole situation has kind of blown over, you may want to be looking into receiving some hands-on work, and I'll let you know that I'm available for that, and also other people that are working with me in the Takaya Institute, the learning institution that we've established for somatic education. We are all available for this hands-on work. And if you're watching this in the future where the pandemic and everything has already happened and blown over, just know that there was a significant amount of time where people could not interact with each other and not touch each other, and it was very, very difficult. And now it's over, and we can finally receive touch again. So that's like that future time capsule for you there. All right, so before we have you go on the table, I want to do just a little bit of, just want to know a few things about you. I'd like you to just tell us if you have any chronic pain or chronic tension that you experience in your body, if you've had any accidents or injuries in more recent years that could impact your body or that are impacting your body. Yeah, let's start with that.
Extensive amounts, but I'm going to keep it brief, I guess. I'll just focus on my lower back. I fell out of a tree when I was very young and impacted my spine and impacted my neck and fused a few vertebrae. And that's pretty much where I'm at today. It's been a lifelong thing that I've been battling with. So I've got permanent back pain, chronic back pain. Actually, I guess recently I had a job where I was lifting heavy things, and it was the first time I've had severe upper back pain. But other than that, severe stiff neck and lower back pain.
I got it. Okay, and so the physical pain, do you notice how it impacts your just day-to-day movements? Do you have to kind of work around it?
Yeah, sitting hurts.
Sitting hurts?
Sitting hurts. Sitting in, being in an isolated space for a long time, driving.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
And how is it right now?
I can feel the pain, but this posture that I'm sitting in now is not allowing that inflammation to really throb. It's just a noticeable tension in my lower back. So certain postures I have that I know how to.
Okay. Yeah, and what I also know is that the squatting position is actually a resting position. It's the original resting position for our human bodies to be in. A lot of people can't squat comfortably anymore just because we're not used to it. And I do recommend it. Going slowly into a squat can sometimes bring some relief into the lower back. But we're going to do something differently today. It sounds like you have some material for us to work with, and I'd love to do some pandiculations to help release some of that tension in your lower back. And then then you can just explain to the audience after the show how it felt and what it was like, and if you notice a difference and whatnot. Yeah. So let's get started. Why don't you just lay down on your back here? We got some shoulder bolsters here, so you can just let your arms just relax however you want. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
How is the sunlight? Is that manageable right now?
As long as I can keep my eyes closed.
Yeah, you can totally keep your eyes closed. And right now, are you noticing anything in your lower back?
Yes, I can feel I'm pushing my tailbone into the couch and it's alleviating the compression on the vertebrae, so I'm feeling relief.
Oh, good.
Yes.
All right. And I want you to just rest into your body, rest into the table. I want you to just make a mental image of yourself, of your body, of just the sensations, the discomforts, and the comforts. The weight of your body, the position of all your limbs. Okay. Now, when I was listening to Azar, I heard him say that he has chronic neck tension along with the lower back pain. And just because I really like this movement set, I'm going to start with a neck release with him. And another thing to note is I'm not working on Lazar, I'm working with Lazar. Lazar is going to be doing movements, and I'm going to be coaching him, guiding him along, but we're working together here. He is not a passive object in this. He's a conscious with actor or activist in this thing we're doing. And when most people have neck tension, it's usually in the back of their neck. And I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but where I'm touching him right now is right here in the back part of his neck. And these are the paraspinal muscles. They run all the way down the spine. And there's lots of different other kinds of muscles here as well that also get recruited in all the different movements we make with our neck. Right now we're going to pandiculate just the muscles here in the back of the neck. So could you just lift up your head for a second? Good. And then just relax into my hands. How does that feel? Feels good. Okay. So the first motion I want you to do, and I'm going to have my hands right here. You feel my fingers by your occiput, the back of your head. What I want you to do is to tilt your head back as if you're going to look up at me. There you go. You see that on the camera. He's tilting his head backward. Now hold right there. We're maintaining a tension here. Now I want you to reverse that movement. So we're slowly going to let go of the contraction in your neck. And I'm holding a load to his head. We're just very slowly releasing, allowing those back neck muscles to gradually lengthen. We're going to release all the way until you feel that there's an end, and then we'll just rest here. Good. We always rest in between movements. It helps reset the brain. Also, we're just letting things be relaxed, and the brain can just let things drop. How did that feel? Good. So good? Was that level of pressure I was giving you okay?
Yeah, I don't have much reference to put it on, but it was not light. Oh, it wasn't heavy at all.
Cool. Yeah, if you have to work really hard, then we're using too much load. Sometimes the load can be too soft and you can't feel the movement. So as long as we're kind of in that middle ground where it's hard enough where you are working against something, but it's not too hard where you can't get anywhere, then we're fine. Yeah. So let's do that one again where you're going to do at least 3. So tilt back your head, tighten the back of your neck. I'm giving you some load. How's that load?
A little more.
A little bit more, so I'm going to give him more pressure, and we'll hold right there. Now we're slowly release the movement. I'm going to maintain the same level of pressure as we're releasing. your neck getting longer and longer. Excellent. And just drop your head here, let it relax. Just take another deep breath. As you can see, there is not that much that we're doing. All we're doing is we're gently tightening the back of the neck. I'm giving him some pressure, and he slowly releases with me. That's all we're doing. It doesn't seem like a lot, but actually we're impacting and we're changing the different pathways of the brains that are controlling these particular muscle groups. We're going to do a third repetition now. Go ahead and tilt your head back. I'm going to try to replicate that pressure we had earlier. How's that load? Huh? Good. And now from here, let's slowly release. And we'll rest here. Okay, Lazar, how is that for you?
This is good.
It's good?
Yeah.
And can you notice any difference in the sensations of your neck after these movements?
Right now it's still feeling a bit stretched out, but there's no discomfort in it feeling stretched out. It's nice. Yeah, just less, I'd say there would be less tension.
Less tension? Okay. Yeah, if you want to make yourself more comfortable. Excellent. Now we're going to do a neck and shoulder release. And I'm going to have your head turn halfway to the left here, so you're going to be out of the sun a little bit. I'm going to put my hand here, my left hand underneath his head. I'm going to take my right hand, put it on his right shoulder. You can't really see it on the camera, but my right hand is right here at the top of his shoulder. He's going to be pushing into my hand in a little bit, and at the same time I'm cradling his head with my hand, and he'll do the similar kind of action where he's going to be tilting back his head. At the same time, he'll be pushing with his shoulder into my other hand, and by that we'll be kind of pinching together the head and shoulder muscles, and then we'll be able to release them. So a lot of people experience that tension in their shoulders, and that tension might be directly linked to the tension you're also feeling in your neck. So we're going to get into that right now. Now take a deep breath, tilt back your head, and shrug your right shoulder into my hand. Don't lift it off the table. You're just pushing it into my hand. And push your shoulder a little bit more. Yeah, good. Is that a good amount of pressure for you? Great. Now let's slowly release your shoulder and your neck. Your head stays where it is in that angle, but we're releasing the back of the neck. Keep releasing until you feel like there's a stop. There we go. And we'll just rest right here. And I don't know if the camera picked this up. We were definitely moving the shoulder and neck here, and it can be so subtle that you don't see the small movements. How did that feel, first of all? Just doing those movements with my hands here?
It felt very natural, gentle.
Great. We're going to do it again. So inhale, tilt back your head, shrug your right shoulder into my hand. And hold right here. As you exhale, we're going to slowly release. head, just rest, drop into the tail. Let's do one more, then we'll do the other side. Breathe in, tilt back your head, shrug your right shoulder. Great. Hold right here. We're holding this tension. Now let's slowly release. Ooh, and there was a little bit more there. Did you notice that at the end? Now, you probably didn't see this, but as we're releasing his shoulder, it felt like to me that you came to kind of like, oh, this is the end. And then there was still a little bit of movement that happened, so his shoulder went down a little bit more. Right?
It felt like it reached its limit, but then there was a soft movement of some kind of tissue inside my arm. It wasn't a it wasn't a skeletal pop or anything. It felt like something shifted and it just got another 5% more movement.
Yeah, it seems small, but it's definitely significant when you're looking at the interface between your brain and your body. And there's a discrepancy. You think you have all this control over your shoulders or the position of your shoulders, but actually the control can seem almost just very blunt, not fully focused. And so when we're releasing, you'll think, oh, okay, that's the end. And then there's still a little bit more to release. So that tells me that your brain wasn't fully aware of how much tension your shoulder was actually holding, and believing that at a certain length it's totally released, but actually there was still tension you were holding on that you were unaware of. Do you feel like something like that, like, oh, there's like a new awareness here that I actually could lengthen even more?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely did feel some physical movement too, that like kind of a popping sensation that followed by more movement.
Great. Thank you so much. And we call that motor sensory amnesia. It's it's a very common condition where your brain kind of automizes or habituates a certain tension, or a certain muscular action, and then forgets what the default was, the natural default. And so you have a natural resting level for your muscles, and your brain, depending on what kind of tension or pain you've been holding in your body, your brain will set a new default based on what it's used to that is actually not the natural full length, right? And so right now we just maybe increase a little bit of range of motion and also the awareness of the range in your muscles. So that's like on a deeper neurological level, things are happening like that, where you're gaining more awareness. It's not always conceptualized, but there's a physical, palpable kind of feeling that something is changing. All right, I'm going to turn your head over now. Actually, first we'll be right here. Do you notice any difference between your left shoulder and your right shoulder?
I do notice that it does want to sit more naturally down, less uptight and shrugged up, less hunched.
Cool. Is it comfortable? More comfortable on the right? Terrific. Okay, so now I'm going to have your head turn over to the right. Is the sunlight still okay? Great. And now putting my left hand on his left shoulder, and now I'd like you to breathe in, tilt back your head, and shrug your left shoulder into my hand. We're doing the same movement as earlier, just the different side. Now hold right here. Now we're going to slowly undo the contraction. So very slowly release that shoulder, release the back of your neck. And rest right here. feel your nervous system calming down a bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just notice those deep breaths that come through the diaphragm. They kind of just happen involuntarily as we relax into our nervous system, as things kind of calm down to, like a calm lake, right? The waters of the lake aren't choppy anymore. They're starting to become more still, more flat, more mirror-like. Now let's do this again when you're ready. Breathe in, tilt back your head, shrug your left shoulder. Hold right here. Great. Slowly release. Keep releasing. Very good. Nice. And let's just relax right here. Let's do one more. Inhale, tilt back your head, shrug your left shoulder. Push with your shoulder a little bit more. That's great. Hold right here. Slowly undo the contraction. Very nice. And just relax here. Just melt into the table. How is that for you?
Very calming.
Very calming.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Anything else you noticed about it?
I think the good thing to say would be I notice less. So there's less, I feel less tension or anything. Just more in a relaxed state.
Yeah. So, do you feel like your mind is also having a hard time trying to come up with the right words?
Yeah.
Feel like your mind's slowing down a little bit?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So he's already dropping into the parasympathetic state. That's the state that you're going into when you want to start falling asleep, when you're meditating, when you're in a nice hot bath. Your body just relaxes. You get drowsy. You might have dreamlike kind of feelings. These are all very normal things that happen when you're dropping into the parasympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is active when we're worried about stuff, when we have rent to pay, when we have this and that to do, when you can't fully really drop in and relax. That's when you're in the sympathetic. And right now, when people are scared and worried about this and that, that's the sympathetic nervous system firing. What we're doing here is we're going into the opposite realm of that spectrum. We're going into more relaxation, more connection with the body, more restorative just states of being. Thank you so much. How's your neck and shoulders feeling right now?
Very soft.
Feeling soft. Beautiful. So I'm going to walk down here. Okay. And in a little bit, I'm going to do some work with your legs, and we're going to release some of the tension in your lower back. First, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply lift your legs up and just give you a little bit of a pull here. There's nothing you need to do. This is just something I like doing with my clients. It's just like holding their legs up for them. Your legs are the heaviest limbs in your body, and it You know, it isn't really noticeable because you're so used to moving around your legs most of the time. But when somebody's holding your legs for you, it's like taking that weight off of the rest of your nervous system, and I feel like if somebody's holding my legs, I can relax even more. So that's why I like offering it to people. I just like holding their legs, taking the weight off of their bodies. Also, when people feel their limbs being lifted, their brains, because of the habituation, they'll try to hold the legs up for you, right? They'll try to help me out. And my invitation is to continually ask my client or whoever I'm working with to just give their weight to me. Just let go. Let's just drop into it. How does that feel, Lazar?
It's very relieving.
So I'm giving him some relief for his lower back. Is that kind of where
Yeah.
it's happening? Great. Set him down. I'm going to push on the bottoms of his feet. Kind of compress his legs into the joints. Usually that feels pretty nice. All right. I'm going to move this leg for you. Is it okay if I just lift this leg up for you?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just totally let go and allow me to do this for you. And you might notice your brain trying to help me out at different points. Now I'm moving his leg for him. I'm inviting him to totally let go. He doesn't have to do anything. And this technique we call means whereby. I'm just moving the joints of his leg in the means of which they were designed to move. Right? So this is a very normal contraction pattern for the leg, bending the knee, bending the hip. If you felt that right there, try to help me a little bit. If not, it's okay. Just moved your leg around a little bit. Do you feel a difference between your left leg and your right leg?
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you can say about that? Any difference?
My right leg is rotated 10 degrees out, so it's always different.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So there's always a complete
There's a difference.
yeah,
Okay,
there's a complete disconnect there.
I see. All right, well, let's do a pandiculation. So I'm going to be right here, and you feel my hand underneath your knee here where I'm squeezing you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be the point of pressure that I'm going to give him, and he's going to work against my hand here under his knee. What I'd like you to do, Lazar, is to push to lengthen this leg by pushing your knee down toward the table. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you some low. Go ahead and push. Try to straighten this leg. That's good. Hold it right here. Can you feel that in your lower back?
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Great. That's all we need. And now we're slowly going to release. Now we're going to come back to where we originally were until you're totally relaxed. So go ahead and release the back of your leg. And then you can just drop your leg here into my hands and just relax. Let's do it again. Go ahead and straighten your leg. Push your knee down toward the table. So he's pushing my hand down now. I'm going to give you some weight right here. And now slowly release. How did that feel?
Hmm. Soothing.
Great. Yeah, it's very soothing. Okay, I'm going to have you do a slightly different move now. What I'd like you to do is to straighten your leg and push your heel into my hand here. You feel my hand right there? So go ahead and straighten your leg, push your heel into my hand. You might feel out like more of your muscles of your legs, maybe even of your lower back. You can push a little bit more. It's good right there. Can you feel it in your lower back?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. He feels it in his lower back. Slowly release now. And we're going to relax right here. Let's do it again. Please push your heel into my hand, straighten your leg. Hold. Slowly release from here. You can drop your leg and relax. And slowly let you down. You can just drop your leg into my hand. Now, how does your left leg feel after doing those moves?
Uh, most significant thing I notice is the joints. The joints feel a lot more free.
Joints feel more free?
Mm.
Great. Just like your knee joints and hip joint?
Mostly focusing on the knee.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's try a different one. What I'd like you to do is to start bending the knee by dragging the heel toward you and flexing the hip at the same time. So your knee will kind of come up toward the sky. Yeah, there you go. And I'm holding you at the back of your heel. Good. You feel that in your lower back at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he feels it in his lower back. Great. Now we're going to slowly release from here. And then rest. Did you feel this, out of all the movements we've done with your legs, that you felt the lower back activate the most with this one?
Yeah, definitely. This
Yeah.
is definitely felt the most out of it.
Okay. And was it kind of a relief after we released it?
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely feel the imbalance of how more soft that side is compared to the other.
So you feel a difference between your left leg and right leg now?
More in my hips
Yeah.
and my lower back.
Interesting. Awesome. So we're going to do it again. And when you're watching, I'm going to explain kind of what's happening here. So go ahead and flex your hip again and bend your knee. So as he's flexing his hip, there are a lot of other co-contractions happening. His leg needs to be stabilized, and so his lower back is probably helping him out with that. Can you feel your lower back activate with this?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely feeling the lower back activate. Now we're slowly going to release the hip and the knee flexor. And as we do that, those co-contractions in the lower back are able to relax as well. And then we just rest. So after doing those movements, how would you describe kind of the difference between your left leg and your right leg right now?
My right leg feels like it's bound up, like a spring, spiraling a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how it always is. It always feels like it's unwinding like a spring.
Mm-hmm. I also notice that your right foot is leaning out more to the right.
That's from injuries.
From injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know if it's a structural kind of problem? Did you break a joint or something?
So I've broken my ankle twice. That ankle twice, and my knee's been dislocated.
Wow.
So it's really helpful.
Yeah. Cool. So we're going to do a couple of contractions here as well, and then we'll see how that changes. So first I'm going to do some means whereby. I'm just going to move this leg. You can just totally relax as much as you can. And I can feel that there's a little bit more trauma in this leg. You notice that too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he notices.
I live with it.
He lives with it. What I'm noticing is that his leg isn't fully giving itself. It's kind of feels a little bit more stiff to me, and what that means, he's probably helping me with some of these movements. There's just some protectiveness, some tension. That's all okay. That's all part of this. But this kind of work that we're doing is going to turn some of that off. At least that's my hope, that we can turn some of this off, get you some relief, help you to let go a little bit more. Yeah, it's already loosening up a little bit. Do you notice that? Yeah. And he's not even really moving yet. I'm just moving him.
I do definitely feel the tension myself. Like there's constant little bit of tension that's not fully trusting or holding.
Yeah. And some of that is the motor sensory amnesia. Because of the trauma in your leg, your brain has learned to hold some of those muscles in contraction just by habit. And what we're doing is we're turning those habits off functionally. All right. So, remember here we're doing the one under the knee. I'm going to ask you to push your knee down toward the table and straighten your leg. That's good right here, and now slowly release from here. Very nice. And just let your leg drop here as much as you can. Is the way I'm holding you okay? Let's do it again. Go ahead and straighten your leg. Push your knee down toward the table. Hold. And slowly release. And just rest here. Oh, you wanted to go for it. Let's push back again. So straighten your leg again a little bit. So you're moving there without me. Did you notice that?
I thought you asked me to move that way.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
So go ahead and push your knee down.
Oh.
Straighten your leg.
Yeah.
Push it down. Yeah. Sometimes the words can mean differently for each person. So when I meant down, I mean down toward the table. But it can mean something totally different for you, and you're getting really relaxed. So. Nice, and let's relax right here. And I can still feel him holding his leg up. He's just helping me with that, and I know it may not be fully under your control, but you can just totally drop and relax your leg here. I can hold it. Now let's move to the next part. I want you to push your heel into my hand and straighten your leg. There we go. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Now let's hold it right here. Excellent. Now slowly release until your knee bends. Excellent. And you can drop your leg here. Nice. Definitely felt that relax a little bit more this time. Did you notice that too? Yeah, he notices it too. And then again, please push and straighten your right leg. And hold. Feel that in your lower back? Good. And now slowly release, and feel as your lower back releases with this. And drop and relax. Excellent. He's now fully giving the weight of his leg to me. Like, he's not helping me anymore. You feel that? Yeah, he's totally dropping into it. This is beautiful. I'm going to slowly let your leg down now. Alright, we're going to do that one knee and hip flex again. So breathe in, pull your heel towards you by bending the knee and flexing your hip. Feel that into your lower back. Feel that there? Okay, good. He feels it in his lower back, which is really important. There's some co-contraction happening that's going to help us release the lower back. Now go ahead and release slowly. Lengthening the hamstrings. Lengthening the lower back and his hip flexor. Let's do it one more time. Go ahead and bend this knee. Drag that heel towards you. Hold. And slowly undo the contraction. So we're going to do a double leg movement now, and then we're going to be done. What I'd like you to do is to drag and pull both heels towards you by bending both of your knees. Can you feel that in your lower back? Good. Slowly release. do it again. Inhale, bend your knees, pull your heels towards you. Excellent. Slowly release. And rest. Time. Okay. I'd like you to tell me how you're feeling, just in general, how your lower back's feeling, if there's any difference there.
Definitely relaxed and calm. Absolutely in bliss with the sunshine. And I have a cool sensation in my lower back. It was probably from chronic pain. I don't block out a lot of pain, so it's nice having a sensation there that's not that. There's definitely a lot of relief and a lot of feels like a lot more space in my back.
Wow. Awesome. And would you say, like, are you surprised at how well we could create that space with as little as those movements? Or yeah.
Surprised not. I've had a lot of body work done before, a lot of osteopathic work and blood flow work. So I do greatly respect the more subtlety ways of approaching problems, especially when it's to do with more long-term fixes than small-term.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're not too surprised.
I'm satisfied is the word. I'm very satisfied from the experience.
Awesome.
Anyone that's feeling tense or a little bit scrunched up or anything, it just opens everything up.
Cool. Yeah. Have you've done other osteopathic work? Would you say this is, like, I don't want to like equate it to any other kind of body work, but would you say that this is, like, this kind of relief doesn't need a whole lot of like heavy lifting or massaging or thing like that? Like,
it's a very soft approach. The osteopathic care that I actually had was even less than that.
Yeah.
But like it was very soft and gentle. The biggest thing I have from having a lot of work done on me, I'm normally very nervous and protected about my neck from previous experiences. So I wouldn't ever allow people to do any adjustments or touches to my neck unless I trust them. But with this technique, it's all on your own, in your own power with assistance to that. So there's no shyness from having someone manipulate a very sensitive part of your body. So it's very welcoming for people that have a little bit of tension around manipulative corrections.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I have encountered that people really, like, they don't like going to chiropractors because of that specific reason, because like they'll like move around your neck and do these things which with a trained chiropractor you're probably in really good hands, and it may not work for everybody based on a person's like experiences or the traumas they've had. So this is really what we're doing here. It sounds like it's a great alternative, a very gentle approach to getting some relief if like these other modalities don't work for you as well. I'd also like to say for myself that somatics blends really well with all different kinds of things. Like what I would usually do in a session would be doing all these very subtle manipulations with a person, and then mix in a little bit of massage. You know, I also like to use sound, so sometimes I'll bring in some bells or tuning forks or other things like that, just to kind of like create a bigger, more fuller experience for the client or whoever I'm working with. But over the years, I've increasingly noticed that I don't really need to be doing too much to my body. I don't need to be going extra hard on it. That actually the much softer, more subtle things can get a lot more done. And from what it sounds like, that's also kind of your experience with it, especially having like injuries, like having too heavy things being moved around you, or having a person like physically manipulating you in a quick way may not be so helpful for you.
Yeah, well, it's also a trust thing. Like it may help physically, but emotionally and stuff, it can be really traumatizing to have people manipulate your most vulnerable part of your body. So it's nice having a much gentler approach to that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I've been really happy doing this with you, and of course, off the camera, we'll be able to do a lot more stuff whenever you're open to it. And yeah, for those watching, I hope you enjoyed this. In the next episodes, we might show you more things that we can do with hands-on somatics. We'll also have more episodes where I'm showing you self-pandiculative practices. So those are movements, somatic movements that you can do on your own, where you don't need another partner to do it with. I think it's just as important as receiving somatics is being able to do those movement practices yourself, because you know, in these times of social distancing, not necessarily isolation, but physical touch is going to be a lot more rare these days. So the more things you can do to help yourself, the better. And I really want to be walking and living in a world where people are, in a way, self-reliant, in their own control, and self-empowered, sovereign, feeling free and confident in their bodies. That's why I want for you, that's what I want for myself, and for anybody, really. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a beautiful day. Enjoy the weather wherever it is, and yeah, goodbye.